car shopping now? Who's car shopping? Type me in the comments if you're car shopping now or in the next 6 months. The reason why I say that is because oftentimes we wait till the last minute to car shop. We don't realize how that hurts us. We don't want to continually shop every single time we shop. It's an emergency. You lose the ability to see the deals change from month to month. You lose the ability to see used car trends, used cars drop in value, go up in value. You lose the ability to really position yourself for a great deal because you wait till the last minute. So what we teach at Cars from Home is to be in the market 3 to 6 months early. Do your equity assessment. Some of you have equity in your cars. If you have equity in your cars, then that positions you to make a move anytime you want. So you want to go call your bank, and this is for those of you who have a payoff or a lease. Call your bank, find out what the payoff is, and then go to get your 6 cash offers, because we don't trade cars. CarMax, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Carvana, Car Gurus, and AutoNation. That's step 2 of the Cars from Home process. Go find out what your equity position is. Some of you are in leases right now. You have 3 months left, 6 months left. You may run, I like to tell you, run your equity when you have 6 months left. You may have not known you can sell a lease. You just found out one thing you didn't know. That's again, this is called car buying mistakes. So you're going to hear a lot of mistakes that you've made that have already cost you thousands of dollars. And the goal is for you to stop making those mistakes now so that we can get all the money. I need you to know all the money, all the hidden money in car deals. What's up, Ross the Boss? Good to see you, Daniel. Good to see you, Brian. So this entire show is sponsored by my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's 5-star rated already. You can Google it. Thank you for those of you who've taken the time to rate it on Goodreads. And that book has helped like so many people. I get these emails every single week of people who are using the book and saving thousands of dollars. Marie saved $13,000. Now that book's $97, but we have a welcome offer where you can get it for $24. You head to my TikTok bio. You only got a little while to do it, 2 hours. Go to my TikTok bio and get your copy. It's a 7-step formula. You won't pay $97. You'll pay $24. And you can be like Marie. You can be like so many other people. They're saving $5,000, $10,000 off of a $24 book. And I love it because it just makes the value. I'm all about value. So we have another link for you guys in the comment section on YouTube, in the comment section on Facebook, and in my bio on Instagram. Go get your copy. And so start typing your questions, everyone. We're going to try to get through as many questions as we can. Let me just share this on my Facebook page so we can get. All right. I see you, Daniel. I see your question. Dolan, let's get to Daniel's question on TikTok. We already got questions coming in. And then as questions come in on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, we'll start pulling those into the show. Good to see you, Rick. Good to see you, Kayla Brown. Good to see you, David Poe. I don't want to butcher your name, so I won't even try. But let me just share this. And all right. And just give me about 10 seconds and we'll start answering some questions. So while I'm doing this, you guys could be typing your questions so that by the time I'm done sharing, and those of you who are the sharers, shout out to the sharers. You share it with a friend as well while I share these on my other pages. Thank you so much for those of you who help us get this message out. We can't do this without you. Harry Cousins, good to see you checking in. Good to see you, Jill Rivas. Checking in on Facebook. All right. Okay, let's go, Dolan. All right. I need a new vehicle, but I'm upside down and I want to trade. Okay, pay no attention to the question from Nikki asking if you have gap insurance, okay? Nikki, we're not promoting insurance fraud here. Okay? What oftentimes when you're upside down, This is, first of all, just so you know, that the reason you're upside down is because you don't understand leasing. It's that simple. Some of you may know who's the first. I know, Nikki. I know you're just kidding. So am I. That's a running joke with people. Hey, well, hey, listen, grab the keys, parking on the Verrazano Bridge. You got gap insurance. So no, I understand totally. So, some of you may know if you're first time here, you've never been on a show with us, you've never been on car buying mistakes. Just type the number 1. So we can give a shout out to everybody. We can know. I want to know who I'm talking to because we got people here like Nikki. We got some regulars that check in and they kind of know a lot of the cars from home systems that we teach. But if you're a first timer here, we don't want to assume. Southern Creole, good to see you. Rachel, let me hop on Instagram so I can give some shout outs to Instagram. So the reason why you're upside down is because you don't understand leasing. So leasing is made for people who are not keeping their cars 8 years. And the only way you're going to avoid this negative equity is to is to put tons of money down, $10,000, $15,000 down, or take very short-term loans, 3-4 year loans, which you're not going to get that money back. You're going to pay all of this money. And then when you go, you probably just end up, whatever little equity you have, if you have it, you end up trading it. I know you're not leasing. I'm telling you why I'm going to give you the direction to get out of the negative equity. But if you don't know what's causing it, you're just going to go back into it because you're going to end up buying another car, taking another 5-6 year loan out, try to replace that car, putting little money down, and then replacing that car in another 3 years, and you're just going to have more negative equity. And again, I'm telling you what most people will tell you. They'll tell you you have negative equity because you're not putting a lot of money down. Well, put 20% down, you won't have negative equity. All right, so I put 20% down. What happens to my 20%? What happens to my $7,000 that I put down? Oh, well, you won't get that back, but at least you won't have negative equity. Okay, so I get nothing back. Well, yeah, but at least you don't have negative equity. Okay, not doing that. And then they'll tell you, we'll take a 4-year loan instead of a 5 or 6 year loan. So then it's like, okay, so you're telling me to put more money into the car. That's the solution. Instead of a $500 payment, take a 3-year loan for a $800 payment. Hey, I'm not taking anybody live on the show. So let's just ask your question, but I'm not bringing anybody live on the show. I keep getting this request on TikTok. So what you want to do is you want to now, and you're going to love this because not only are you going to be able to drive very nice cars, you don't keep them clearly. You might be buying them used or new, but this is going to be way better. You want to now get your equity assessment done. This is step 2 of our process. Call your bank, find out exactly what you owe. Never take a dealer's word for what your car is worth. That's only one buyer. You want to go to CarMax, write these down. For those of you who have my book, you don't need to write these down because it's right there in step 2. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, Car Gurus. You want to get these 5 offers. Thank you to everybody double tapping the screen on TikTok. I appreciate y'all running the likes up. Every time you hear something you like, you want to show love, just hit the like button. It matters. It boosts the algorithm, tells everybody, hey, they need to get over here because there's people getting ripped out here with cars. And if they're not here, they're not going to learn these mistakes. So you want to get that. You want to get those offers. Once you get those offers, that's going to tell you what your car is really worth from the highest bidder. Everything with Cars from Home is a bid. Everything. That's how we have guarantees. The reason why you don't have any guarantees when you leave the dealership with a car is because you have not gotten any bids. So we're going to change that today. Now, what you want to do now is ask yourself, very important question, Daniel. How many years are you keeping the next car? Shout out to Southern Creole. Shout out to people it's your first time on the show. We appreciate you. And we see all your questions. My man Dolan's going to pull them in. We're going to line them up. And we'll answer as many questions as we can over the next hour and 15 minutes. How many years? I want everybody who's shopping in the next 6 months. How many years are you going to keep the next car? Throw numbers out. I want you to think about this. Some of you may know. Years. Daniel, how many years? All right, Charles Lowe, I see you. 3. Nikki, 3. Trisha, 3. Southern Creole, 6 to 8. All leasers. All leasers. Now, out of you who all put 3 to 6 to 8, tell me, I'm not asking about mileage. That does not matter. I'm asking about years. I'm not asking to put a lot of miles. I put a lot of miles on my car due to my job sales. In 2 years, I put 100,000 miles. Okay. Even more reason why you can't buy your cars. Take out loans, because here's your car's value, Daniel. And anyone who's a high mileage driver like you, here's your car's value. Boom. That thing's dropping through the ground like a boulder in the water. Here's your loan. So your car is like this, but your loan's going down like this. Which is why when you look up, you have huge amounts of negative equity. Your loan's not moving compared to the depreciation of your car. So we're not talking about paying cars off. I want y'all to stay with me. Leave all of the crap out the door. I don't want your strategy. Just tell me your goal. When you come to Cars from Home, do not bring your strategies here. I'm here to tell you, if we were sitting here face to face, it wouldn't take me more than about 5 minutes to tell you that's never a strategy I would do. Tell me what you're trying to achieve, and let me tell you the absolute best way to get there based on 14 years experience, based on seeing thousands of transactions. Okay? So your question, the first question I just asked everyone, and I want you to keep answering that. How many years are you keeping the next car? That is the most important question in your car buying journey, because now we're trying to see how we're going to beat depreciation. It's not the payments killing you, Daniel. It's the depreciation of the car. It's the fact that, hey, I bought a car, it was worth 30. I put 100,000 miles on it in 2 years. Now it's worth 5. You follow me? It's not the payments you can't afford. It's the depreciation. We call this the unseen expense. Remember that. The unseen expense, depreciation. It comes back. Whoa, what's going on? I got 15,000 negative equity. Yeah, car's depreciated. So here's what we have to consider. We don't want to, first person I ever saw with a high mileage lease. I was a manager at Hyundai for 6 weeks. It was a highway dealership. I did not last there. I literally told them after 6 weeks, no, here you go. I gave them the keys back to their demo because I was a manager. They gave me a demo. And I said, nope. Somebody in here is going to jail. I didn't say that, but I knew that. And the general manager ended up being indicted. They just ran the place like your worst highway dealership. Fights, people doing drugs in the back. It was horrible. 6 weeks. But I learned a very valuable lesson. Guy comes in, he's returning his lease. I see it has 72,000 miles on it. I said, so wait, hold on. You leased this? He said, yeah, I always lease. He said, I used to buy my cars. I'll always have tons of negative equity. Now I'm saying to myself, I know, because there's tons of clients, tons of customers. By that time, I had already been in the business for probably 6 years, 7 years. I'm like, yeah, I see tons of high mileage people coming, but I never thought of a high mileage lease. He said, no. And when I saw his payment, I said to him, whoa, this payment is only like $170, $175 more than a normal good deal on a lease. Pay attention. It's 3 prices you can pay on every car. Most of you are only used to market value and above market value. You're not used to below market value. You're not used to, y'all look at these commercials and be like, well, they said I could lease that car for $490, but I got to put $3,000 down plus tax. And no, those are not deals. So I see that, let's say a good deal on a Hyundai Sonata at that time was like $300, $325. He's only paying like $550, he's only paying like $175 more, and he gets to drive 25,000 miles a year. So I said, okay, that stuck with me because he doesn't have negative equity. $150, $175 more per month. He's driving a brand new car. He drops it off after 3 years. He does it again, over and over again. Now, in your particular case, let's say you had a 25,000 mile a year lease. Now, in my book, I have a strategy, short-term strategy for two short-term strategies for high mileage drivers. One is the high mileage lease, which I just laid out for you. You cannot do that until you shop and get your below market deals first. You can't go into a dealership and say, hey, work me up a high mileage lease. You something. Who knows about the 80%? If you know about the 80%, type the number 80. If you don't, type a question mark. Maybe we'll talk about that before the end of the show. You can't walk into dealers. 80% of them are overpriced. I said, all right, thank you, Trisha. 80% are overpriced of any brand. So when you get your offers, you cannot walk into a dealership. Now, that's one strategy, high mileage lease. That's great for people who are driving from 20 to 25,000 miles, 18 to 25,000 miles a year, even potentially 30. But in your particular case, you're putting, almost 50,000 miles a year on the car. So what you should do is look at the strategy I call 2 cars, 1 payment. So you need to get one car that is the longest lasting car, very inexpensive. What I mean, look at like a Honda. For example, a Honda Civic, Honda Accord, Toyota Corolla, Toyota Camry. Something that is proven to go. You change the oil, you do the maintenance, that thing will go. Now, what I would do is I go and I get the Toyota. I do a short-term loan, shortest loan possible that you can afford, because you don't want to think, oh, I can get away with this because I'm just gonna take a $500, $600 payment or a $400 payment. It's coming back to bite you. So you want to get the highest payment you could afford, take a short loan, because what you want to do is pay that car off, and then you go and you lease something for 25,000 miles a year. So let's say I get the Toyota brand new. And quite honestly, if you're doing this many miles, you should have money. I wish a company would tell me to do 50,000 miles a year and I'm not making money. So let's preface that. Those who are on the road 25,000 miles a year, you should be making money. Daniel, you 50,000 miles a year on the road, you should have some money. And that should be a part of what I'm telling you shouldn't be. Well, Deshone, I need to be at a $400 payment. And you drive 50,000 miles a year? What are you doing for a living? So the key is to mitigate the amount of money, to lower the amount of money coming out of your house and prevent these huge negative equity carryovers where you're carrying over 15 grand negative equity and you're carrying it over and putting it on top of whatever car you buy. So whatever car you buy, you're not just paying for that car, you're paying for the car you brought over, that negative equity. You're paying for your old car in your new car. We need to stop that. We need to stop that. So now what I would do now is I would look at, because you have a huge amount of negative equity, I look at a lease on an electric car, something that I could do incredible. Some of these leases on electric cars, you cannot imagine. I got people writing me and posting in our group, in our private group, the leases they're getting on these electric cars. And I gotta label these correctly so I can pull one up, because I got a bunch of people who send me deals, bunch of our members, but they're not labeled. But I've seen leases that are 0.88%, 0.7%. So I think I don't know if it was the Nissan Leaf. I want to say 2 months ago, they were doing leases on those. If you knew how to shop, you could get them for, it was like something stupid like $100 and something a month. That's a car. I go get 2 of them. I do 2 high mileage leases. You get what I'm saying? If I'm you, I'm like, all right, let me lease 2 of these cars. I'm gonna drive electric, because I guarantee you're obviously spending a ton of money on gas. I would get 2 electric cars, lease them both 25,000 miles a year, electric. But again, you got to learn how to shop, because you're going to go into the dealership. You're going to be like, Deshone, the prices that you're talking about are not the prices they're telling me. Exactly. Because everyone who's using our system, when you look at Ken, look at Alex, look at the percentages they're getting on these leases. Look at Courtney. Well, she just got 5,500, almost 5,700 off of her new Honda Pilot. And this is from home. Look, I told you about Marie, 13,000 off. Guys, I want to be very clear with you. If you go out here and you try to get the prices that you see me sharing from my people who are using the Cars from Home system, you're not going to do it. So I'm telling you, you can try calling around. I tell you that all the time. You know my two favorite words, multiple offers. You want to call around? Do it that way. Deshone, I called 10 dealerships, man. I spoke to the manager. Hey, I spoke to the salesman. I didn't go in there, and I found out all of those dealers had different prices. I ended up closing my deal with the best one. He was $7,000 less than everyone else. You want to do it that way? God bless you. I'm going to clap it up for you. Great job. You want to do it our way, where we don't talk to dealerships? We do everything by email? Great. But if you're not going to get the prices you can get. You're not going to see how much money has been hidden from you until you start getting multiple offers. So that's a couple ways I would go with it, Daniel. I'm either doing some high mileage leases on electric cars, or I'll do a high mileage lease on an electric car. Like literally, I'll be shopping multiple electric cars and just seeing the best offer, who's going to give me the best lease. I kid you not, one of our clients who, like, we were shopping for him for a Cadillac Escalade, like $130,000, like a premium one. And he has inventory for his rental car business. And he's like, hey, I found this deal they're doing on these Nissan. I think it was a Nissan electric. And he's getting multiple offers. He knows how to call around. He's an aggressive guy. He doesn't have a problem with confrontation. And so he's like, I got these things for $100 a month, 10,000 miles a year. So you can get out of that negative equity, roll it over to one of these cars, but get your equity assessment done first. So these are specialized things. I have all of this stuff in my book. I don't think that that's not a normal thing. I don't want any of you thinking, oh man, my situation is so rare. No one's in my situation. No, probably about 100,000 people in the country are in your situation right now. So don't think, oh, Deshone, what about me? Is there anything for me? This thing's so predictable. So, if you want to ask some follow-up questions, Daniel, feel free to. All right, let's move on. Dolan, a couple more questions. Let's roll. I know we got a lot of them coming in. This is our Monday, May 19th, car buying questions and mistakes live. We do these from 12 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So, how do I shop for a used truck? So the first thing you want to do is get your, first step is how many years you keeping it. I do not recommend buying for those of you who are not keeping cars 8 years. That's step one of our process. It's called the 8-year rule. It's called the 8-year rule. It is costing you so much money because you're not taking into account depreciation when you get these cars. So let's just assume you're like, Deshone, I'm going to keep this car at least 10 years. Wonderful. Let's move on to step two. Step two would be, let's assess our equity. What's your replacement car? Oftentimes you are going to wait till you find the car you want to even think about the car you have. We don't do that. We need to take an assessment of our asset we have. We have a car. It's worth something. It's either going to be a positive equity position or a negative equity position. In the case of a lease, it can't be a negative equity position. It can only be a positive equity position. But we're going to assess our equity because we don't want to wait till we find the car, find a great deal on it, and now we come and bring our old car to the table and the old car ruins the deal because we don't have any idea what this old car is worth relative to what we owe on it. So you do your equity assessment second. Now we get into our budget. This is step three. How much can we afford? Are you paying cash for the car? It's easier for you to understand what you can afford. For those of you who are financing, in my book, I have a calculator that we created. It's a Cars from Home calculator. We have 5 of them in my book, custom calculators. You put how much, because what happened when I was in dealerships 14 years, some of you know that. Mercedes 5 years, General Motors 5 years, ran my own brokerage for 4 years, been in and around the auto industry since 2006. People would come up to me and be like, Deshone, well, I could put $4,000 down, but if I don't have to, I'd rather not. Okay, that's the same way I would approach it. Hey, if I got 5,000, I got 2,000, I got 10,000. But if I don't have to put it down, then I'm not. So we need to have a calculator that would tell us, well, if we don't put money down, here's how much we could afford. If we put money down, here's how much we could afford then. If we take a 6-year loan, here's how much we could afford. And this factors in your taxes and fees, which oftentimes these calculators don't do online. So we need to know how much car we could afford. But let's just say you're like, hey, I'm thinking, you make up a number, which is what most people do. I think I could afford like 30,000. Okay. So now we're going to go to the marketplaces. Southern Creole, how do you get the book? It's in my TikTok bio. Normally $97. It's a digital book too, so you don't have to wait for it to come to the mail. It'll be in your inbox by the time we're done with the show. And if you get there, click that link that says welcome offer for Cars from Home digital book. And you'll see it's a $24 special, 75% off. Grab it. Come on back to the show. Same thing on Instagram. It's a link in my bio. For those of you who are watching on YouTube or Facebook, it is in the comments section, deshonesbook.com. Okay, digital book. Everything we're talking about, you won't even have to remember it. It's in there. It's a blueprint. So then we move to the marketplaces. So now we know well, actually, first we go to step 4, which is shopping, not buying. This is choosing what we want, because I'm going to tell y'all what's happening right now. They're making cars that are bad cars. A couple manufacturers are making cars that are bad cars. I don't know if they're making them too fast. I have no idea what's going on. But problem cars. And they've been doing that since the pandemic. You got to remember, cars during the pandemic, what did we see happening during the pandemic? Limited inventory. Y'all remember it was an issue with parts? Who remembers that? Who was in the market, or who was even paying attention during the pandemic? Remember all the cars that were, thank you, Charles Lowe. Got the number 2 gifted badge. Appreciate you. Thank you, Karen Dennis, sharing alive. Appreciate you so much. Thank you to everybody running the likes up on TikTok. All y'all do is keep tapping the screen. You'll notice those likes keep flying up. I appreciate you. But who remembers that? We watched this happening. Sneaker Con, I see you. Good to see you, Brenda Abraham. Bought a car, I hate it. All right, we'll talk about that. Remember Brenda Abraham's question on Instagram, Dolan. But let's stay on this right now. So there's cars out here that some of you are going to look at as pre-owned cars. And those cars had reliability issues back when they made them in 2021, 2022, 2023, all through the pandemic, because they were making cars on the fly without having everything they needed. How do we find out? Simple. In my book, I teach you how to go to Google. You type in the year of the car, reliability. Read what it says. Skim the first couple pages. This takes 5 minutes, because our entire process takes 90 minutes, 2 hours. So everything I'm telling y'all is like things I would tell you if we were on the phone. Hey, do this, call me back. Go to this website, call me back. Check this out, call me back. Tell me what you said. Oh, Deshone, I see this car has less than normal, says less than average reliability. Okay. Many of you, who's bought a car 3 months, 6 months, 1 year later, issues with the car? And if you're new here, the way we win here is by being honest. Because everything I'm telling you relates to a new car, relates to a used car, relates to a lease. So if you're not getting something out of what we're talking about, it's you. I don't know if you're cooking, eating, you got music playing in the back and you're trying to hear us talk this money at the same time. If you're not getting anything out of this right now, you need to focus. Okay, because I've had people lease brand new cars in the shop in 3 months. Buy brand new cars, 6 months. Yo, it's in the shop. Used cars, of course. So how do we prevent that? We take 5 minutes We skim reliability ratings. We skim initial quality ratings. We skim longevity ratings. And how do we do that? Type in the year, make, model, reliability into Google. Year, make, model, longevity into Google. If you're buying. No one should be, the reason you are getting jammed up is because you are skipping critical steps you would not skip if you were buying a house. You are coasting over important steps that you would never coast over if you were buying any large purchase. You never coast over them. So we're going to Google. We're going to find out, does this car, some of you are looking at used cars. You're like, okay, it has 65,000 miles. I think that's good. You type in longevity, you're going to see these cars typically have transmission issues at 80 to 100,000 miles. Who thinks that's important? Who understands that if you're looking at a used car with 65,000 miles and the data says about 80 to 100,000 miles, you can expect some transmission issues. Type a dollar sign if you understand how critical it is to know. But you know, some people was just going to buy the car. And then 25,000 miles later, oh, transmission slipping. They sold me a bad car. No, they didn't. That is built into the car's DNA. So the reason why we have an incredible process, the reason why our clients who use cars from home are people who use my book, everyone who you see that I share on these streams, we're not focused only on the short term. 3 years down the road, we're still winning. You didn't win if you bought a car, got a great price on it, phenomenal. And then a year later, the car is breaking down because you didn't check reliability. So once we do that, I'm walking you through our 7-step. This is our literally, as you're reading my book, you're going to be like, whoa, this is exactly what Deshone said, step by step, because we're not winging this. We don't wing the car buying process. It is a process for us. It is a scientific process. It's not an art, it's a science. You do this, do this, do this, do this. You take the best steps of protecting yourself, getting the best prices. So then we move to the marketplaces. And everything that I just told you, and I'm on step 5 right now, everything I just told you takes about 30 minutes. From deciding whether I'm going to buy or lease, am I keeping the car 8 years, doing my equity assessment, that's going to take me about 20 minutes, doing my budget with the perfect budget calculator. I'm not getting a pre-approval. You can ask me why later. We don't get pre-approvals and let people run our credit with a hard pull before early in this process. So use the perfect budget calculator. That's going to take me about 3 minutes. Do my initial quality longevity check to make sure I'm not buying a car that has bad DNA. 10 minutes. What are we up to so far? See, the first time you use the process, you're like, it's not going to be that quick. It's going to be like, okay. But the second time, okay. Third time, boom, boom. By the time you're getting into your third car for your child or for your spouse, it's like, boom, boom, boom. I know these steps. The steps are not going to change. So everything I just said, we're about 30 minutes in. Critical, important things. Now we come to the marketplaces. We open up CarMax, Carvana, Driveway, not AutoNation, not for marketplaces. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Car Gurus. Should be writing these down. Unless you have my book, you don't have to write them down. All of these marketplaces have different inventory, and sometimes you'll see a car. I remember I was shopping for my Infinity truck, and it was first I thought I was going to get the QX50, and I remember seeing a car that was $36,000, and then I saw it on another marketplace, and it was $34,000. Now it wasn't a scam. Oh, Deshone, is that a scam? No, it's not a scam. On this marketplace, the updates take longer. So when the dealer sends out a price change, lower the price $2,000. This marketplace, it might take them 12 hours to do that. This marketplace, it doesn't. we update quicker. Who understands why you need to have multiple marketplaces open? See, everything we do is for a reason. So now we're going through the process. You look, you see, wait, let's go back. We got Car Gurus, Cars.com, Auto Trader, and Carfax.com. So we open up these marketplaces. We put in our price range. I like to start 100 miles out, and I like to start as new as possible. Let your budget dictate you can't get a 3-year-old. Don't just go back and start looking for a 5-year-old one. See if there's anything in the 3-year range. Does anything in the 3-year range fall in my budget? But here's our goal. With these steps, and 45 million of you are going to buy used cars this year. So there's more people who are going to buy used cars than are going to buy new and lease. So our goal when we open up the marketplaces is not to buy something at that minute. The goal is to see the market and determine, again, in my book, you're going to see, we need to know what is the low side of the market and what's the high side. What's the low side of the market? So you open you open all the marketplaces up. You put in your filters. You put in your criteria. What we do is we create accounts on every marketplace so that when new inventory pops up, we get a notification right then and there. Because if you're competing against someone like me or someone who learns from me or who's using cars from home, you can't compete. I'm going to tell you why. And you're going to eventually be here. When you start using this and believing what I'm telling you, you're going to see why. You're going to be, when you know the market, you're getting inventory alerts. New car pops up. You see it. Most people are going to hesitate. They're going to be like, wow, $28,700. You think that's a good price? They don't know the market. When we open it, we look, when I was shopping for this Infiniti truck, I saw it at the low side of the market, $30,000 up to $40,000. So I'm looking for anything popping up close to $30,000, $31,000. Now what you're going to see is you're going to get a lot of cars with bad Carfax, a lot of cars with accidents, cars with no service records, red flag. We do not buy cars with no service records. If you can't see the service records on the Carfax from a car, I exit out. You can do what you want to do. I teach you to X that car out. You cannot be surprised when the car breaks down when you looked at that Carfax, you saw it has 60,000 miles, 30,000 miles, 2 services, 1 oil change. Can't be surprised when you have issues. We want to see religious services. So, but the thing is, once you're looking at the low side of the market, you'll see, oh man, Deshone taught me how to, I can see the low side. The low side's coming in. You're looking for the frame damage cars. All of that, when you're opening Carfaxes up, frame damage, structural damage, salvage title. Now you know you're looking at the low side of the market, low prices. So you're going to come up a little bit because you're going to realize, all right, all the low stuff is in that, like, it's giving me that. That's good. So let's say those cars, those salvage cars and all of that is coming in around 18, 19. You might say, all right, 20 is where I think good quality is. Now I want you to pay attention to this. Again, all in my book. See, and if y'all like, some people like, yo, man, this is a serious process. It's the second most expensive purchase most people are going to make. If we were sitting here talking about house buying and we were laying out step by step how to make sure you get the best deal on the house and never buy a money pit, it wouldn't be a problem. So understand, everything we're talking about is 5,000 to 7,000 or more per car that people are losing not doing these things. So I'm walking you through our process of how we get pre-owned cars. Shout out to the sharers. I see a lot of sharers on the show today. Thank you so much. We're live. This is our Monday, May, what is it, 19th? 19th show. We're live every Monday through Thursday from 12 to 1:30. Feel free to bring a friend. And we replay this show. For those of you who may have missed the first couple minutes, we'll replay the show throughout the rest of the day so you can catch the rest. So now, when you see those, let's say some of you, you're like, man, all right, Deshone, I'm shopping for a black or white truck. Remember, we're trying to see what's the low side of the market. So let's say the low side of the market is 20, 21. You see the salvage cars and the frame damage and the bad Carfaxes, their accidents, they're all like 18. You know, let's say you get an alert. You see a car for 20. Now that's immediately. I want you to look at any car. Do not put a color in to your filters. When you're looking at used cars, do not filter by color. I'm going to tell you why. You put in black or white, you're not going to get the whole market, even though you're looking for black or white. So let's say I'm looking for black or white. I get an alert, $20,000 car, low side of the market, price is great. Okay. Now you're also, when you're doing this, you're going to assume, oh, this probably has a bad Carfax. Oh, it probably has this. No problem. It's also not my color. Open it up. Check the Carfax. Oh, good Carfax. Good service records. But it's blue. Not my color. That just showed you what the low side of the market is. That just showed you. Even though that's not my color, I know there's a car out there that's letting me know 20,000 is attainable. So just because you don't see, and this is why I tell you guys, you want to be in the market 3 months early. I teach you how to be in the market 3 to 6 months early so that you can watch these trends. Be at home, position, getting alerts. Because one day you're going to see a black one. Oh, black. Oh, this thing's 20,900. You check, clean Carfax, great service records. Now we verify fees because there's a tactic that the 80% do. Understand, the 80% are 80% of dealers in this country, new and used, that are scammers. They're going to do smoke and mirrors. Our mission is to identify them from home, not to be in the dealership and be like, oh man, Deshone the Auto Advisor told me about you. You're an 80% dealer. Well, you must have not listened to him because he told you not to be in here figuring out we're 80% dealer. He told you be at home. So now we verifying fees from home. All right, I see here. Hey, I'm calling. Can I speak to the sales manager?